Hello and welcome to my fight kiln tips and setup. Basically, I'll just be going over the setup I used and the tips I really have to get you through the fight kiln. You don't really need a full guide. If you want a guide, look up just a website, and because you don't want to be watching a guide while doing the fight kiln. That doesn't help at all. So basically, look up a guide on a website that you can just look at whenever you need it, and then use mine for starting the fight kiln so you know what to do. So this is the gear I do recommend going in. It's the gear that I beat the caves in. And it's basically all the same gear. The only difference is all these were flasks instead of normal potions. I just didn't want to buy flasks again and make all the flasks again just for this guide. But yeah, basically all these would be flasks instead. So then basically for Helm, basically you really want to balance out range, magic, and um, combat defense. Basically, the Varak helm helps a little bit with range defense, as you can see, has quite a bit there, nearly 60. Then Ganodermic poncho and leggings, which gives insane magic defense and melee defense, along with a lot of magic absorption, almost 50% right there, which helps a lot. And then basically Artie Cape 3, this is just prayer and magic attack. Arcane Stream, you have a few other options there, like Glory, Fury. Arcane Stream just helps a lot because you will be maging most of the caves, or the kiln. Then Chaotic Longsword and DFS. DFS just helps because it gives a little bit more range defense. So that's why I like it. And also has a little bit of a strength bonus, so it helps a little bit with attack. And then CLS, Rapier, whatever, Whip works fine. Goliath gloves, Bear's gloves work fine. Infinity boots. You could bring Dragon boots, but they don't actually offer any more range defense, which I found kind of weird. And then Tok-Haar Kal, basically it's the ring you get from the reward or the quest. I just recommend to bring it. It has pretty good stats. As you can see, it's +4 in all combat styles. So, and it also has a +10% attack and damage bonus, so it's very worthwhile to use here. It just costs 50k to recharge, unfortunately. That's the only real problem with it. Now, in your inventory, you want a magic switch. Now, I have a spectral. You don't need it. You could just stick with the DFS throughout, but it is very nice to have a spectral spirit shield, just because it has that extra +30 mage bonus that the DFS does not have. So it really does help, or +20 over the DFS. So it does help quite a bit. Then Dreadnips. If you do not have Dreadnips, you need to bring some kind of pickaxe. Now, I recommend Dragon or Ruin, or I think you can bring the Infernal Adds. Don't quote me on that. Probably just bring a Ruin pickaxe to be safe. But basically the Dreadnips can kill the Dills, and without having to worry about them. And they also just help on all the other monsters, so I recommend bringing them if you have them. But if you don't have them, then definitely bring a pickaxe, because you do need a pickaxe if you want to finish the caves. Now, Enhanced Excalibur. Basically, I would recommend Enhanced Excalibur if you have it, obviously, and the better. But if you can use something else like a Sarah God Sword or something for healing, that can help too. Healing Aura Scrolls, Unicorn Pouch. If you don't have a Unicorn, a Fire Titan might be okay. Bunyip wouldn't be that helpful though, so try to have at least a Fire Titan. Then a few extra War Tortoise pouches. Then, once again, all these I would recommend having as flasks. So 4 overloads, 4 prayer renewals, then 2 super prayers. Personally I did more, but then I only used 1, so that's why I just recommend bring 2. 2 brews, 7 restores, and then in your tortoise, all brews. So basically 20 brews, 7 restores, so it's about a 3-to-1 ratio. And that's really about it for the gear. So this is just really quick on how to kill the dills. Basically, you want to lure them. You want to step 1 away from whatever you're lured from, attack the dill with mage, and then use a dreadnip on it. Now this is, once again, only if you have dreadnips. If you're using a pickaxe and you kind of want to attack it, walk back, attack it, walk back. The dills can hit very hard, and they have a special attack that's completely unblockable. So I really recommend this method because you take no damage this way. The deals really aren't hard. There is one wave where you have, I think, 6. I want to say 6. Maybe it's 8. Pretty sure it's 6 though. Dills, and that one's one of the hardest ways in the kiln. It's kind of weird that wave with rather low levels would be hard. And you also have to attack the dill throughout while the dreadnough's attacking it. Otherwise, your dreadnought will disappear because you weren't attacking. Now this is wave 10, which is obviously a Jad wave. Now you want to stand on the northeast side of the rock for most of the Jads. There are a few exceptions to that. The exceptions to that are waves, I think 34, you want to stand on the north west side of the rock. Wave 35, you want to stand on the west side of the rock. And then wave 36, you want to be back on the northeast. So those pretty much are all the Jad spawn locations. Now against Jad, basically what I do, since I'm wearing full Ganodermic, is I pray range unless it's going to do its mage attack, in which case I switch to mage. And then once I see the attack, like physically coming at me, you can switch back to range. So once that fireball is like in the air, that's when you can switch back to range. Now, the reason I do this is because I have 50% magic absorption basically, which means if I mess up my prayer switch and it hits me with mage, the max amount of damage I'll take is about 400 or 500 or so. Maybe 600, not 100% certain on the exact number. But if I get hit with range, I can basically be one hit from pretty much no matter where I'm at. That's why I recommend doing this method, because it kind of minimizes mistakes if you ask me. And if you ever feel like you're in trouble, ever feel like you're lagging a bit, just run behind the rock. You can pod up. You're completely safe there. The only exception to this is, once again, wave 35, where there really isn't a safe spot, and that wave's very difficult. I've died several times there. I nearly died when I was successful there as well. And basically that's it really for Jad. Most people have trouble getting the Jads. It's not that bad. Basically, if you lure them and then you can just take them on one at a time. Wave 36 is the double Jad, but if you stand on the northeast side of the rock, then you can lure both of them right there, and you can attack both, and you won't take any damage. It's very simple to do. I really recommend doing it that way. Way safer than any other method I could possibly think of. And then once the Jad's dead, just carry on. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the waves. So 1 through 10, it's primarily rangers, but there are some mages, and some waves you do want to go ahead and pray mage against. This is because even though you're in full Ganodermic, which has very high mage defense, and by the way, this is just me against the boss. Boss, by the way, very easy. I'm basically just stand in a corner with the fewest tentacles, wait for the boss head to pop up, attack the boss head. It's extremely weak to mage. That's pretty much my only recommendation for that. It's just do it. Not hard at all. Now, but back to the waves. So wave 1 through 10, basically it's primarily rangers. Obviously wave 10 has a Jad. But still you want to be praying mage for parts of it. You can look up a guide on which ways you should exactly be praying mage or range against. Then waves 11 through 20, primarily magers. Pretty much every wave there, you're just going to be praying mage. I don't think there's any ways that you do pray range or anything else against. Yeah, just pray mage. Because trust me, it's better that way. You do not want to be praying range, because you will take a ton of damage. And obviously wave 20, another Jad. 21 through 30, probably the easiest waves out of, actually, once you get through wave 20, you're pretty much done, as long as you can just finish off the Jads and stuff. And then you have wave 35, which is kind of a difficult wave. But other than that, yeah, just do your best on those waves. Now 21 through 30, basically meleeers, and yeah, you just go through those, not hard at all. Actually, those were, as I said, the easiest ways. And then obviously 30, you have another Jad. For a lot of those, you will be praying mage though, because magers do start spawning. Basically what I'm saying, ranger, mage, melee, I'm saying primarily rangers, primarily magers, primarily meleeers, but there are others coming in at the same time. Then on 31, 31 is like, I think, pure. 31, 32, and 33 are basically pure rangers, pure mailers, pure rangers. I don't remember the exact order, but basically it's not very difficult. That's what I can tell you. And then on 34, basically you get the continuous jads. So 34 is a jad. Now you want to stand on the northwest side for that one. 35 is really weird because the jad spawns on the northeast side, but you also have a major, excuse me, a major, a level 400 major, and a level and a ranger also on the south side. So it makes it a very, very difficult. Um, you can't really lure it, and it makes it really difficult. But you want to stay on the west side on that one, and you have a meleeer, and this is what you want your invulnerability crystals for. You really want them for that wave. They spawn on various ways. I don't remember the exact ways, but it's after wave 1 and then several other times. Now you want to pick all of those up. You can have 3 if you save them all. You'll have 3 by the end there. And so if you save them all to that, it really helps a lot. Basically, that's what saved me. It kept me alive through that wave. So that's wave 35, 36 is double jads. And just stand on the northeast side. Both jads will be lured. Take them on one at a time. You'll be fine. 37 then is the boss. Basically against the boss, as you can see, just pray range. Try to find a fairly empty corner and attack the boss with mage. Boss is extremely weak to mage. As you can see, I already have it well below half health here. And yeah, if you have it, you can use a magic crystal. Do be careful though, because that lowers your defense and can be quite risky. As you can see, those are the pots I have left, which is plenty. And I also have my unicorn summoned. So it really was not that bad. It's very doable. The other things are, in general, what I would advise praying, or what I advise killing stuff with. Against the rangers, you want to attack them with melee. This is because basically it's kind of combat triangle designed. So you might think, oh, why did I bring range? Just because I don't find range that useful and it takes up more inventory slots. So you don't really need range, but you could bring it if you wanted. However, I just recommend not bringing range and just maging the meleeers and the majors, and then meleeing. I said mage the meleeers and the majors. I think I said that. And then melee the rangers. The rangers are pretty much the only thing you should be meleeing. And whenever a ranger's out that you're not praying range against, which will happen a lot between, basically a lot of ways between 11 and 30, you want to have your DFS on. Basically, that's the entire reason I bring it, just to have that defense. And following those tips, you should be able to make it. It's not extremely difficult if you ask me. And once you beat the boss, you can claim your cape. Make sure you claim the cape, not the onyx, and you should be good. The last tip I have for you guys is basically you want to go into the graphics options, and really you want to just basically turn things down. I really recommend this, that way it just reduces your lag a bit. So generally I would put textures to off, flickering effects probably just want to go off, ground decoration off, idle animations just go to few. Basically anything that really would make sense to kind of, well, that changes a whole bunch. I actually kind of like the highlighted detail. But basically you just want to make it so that things are a lot more smooth throughout the fight case. If you ever lag a bit against like a Jad or something, it can basically just mean you die. And so that's why I really, really recommend turning this stuff down. I don't think the water detail really matters in there, but basically if you just turn everything down, you'll be less likely to lag. As you can see, I'll be on, as you can see, it only says 15 there. Usually that's quite a bit higher. There we go. 24, 23, which is much better. Normally on high graphic settings, I'd be on like 12 or 13. So it's a much more useful thing. And then also go to a very low ping world. This one's pretty low for me, but also just any other low ping world works great. So I really recommend doing that. It can save you a lot of headache. So this is the ending inventory I had right after I got the cape. Now, I basically did the math, and if I had gone with normal potions instead of flasks, I would have had about 1.5 pots too short. So I really just recommend going with flasks. That way it's not close. That way you can take some damage, you can make a few mistakes, and you'll still be okay. And obviously on this attempt, I did make some mistakes. I talked about wave 35 a little bit earlier, where I took some pretty heavy damage, even though I wasn't using the invulnerability crystals at that point. But you should definitely use the invulnerability crystals, and that'll help you a little bit there. But in general, wave 35 is probably the hardest wave, and just bring flasks. It just kind of it gets you through some rough patches in case you mess up. So I really do recommend flasks. Well, thanks for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and I really hope it helps. Good luck on that cape. It is a very difficult cape to get. It's pretty rare, but it's well worth it. I really like my cape. And also sorry about this title clip where it's just black and gray for the past 3 videos now. It was only intended for 2 videos ago in this one, but I kind of forgot to change it for the last one, so that's why it was that way. On Tuesday, I'm hoping to have a new Slayer diary out, so look forward to that. And then Thursday, a new achievement diary. So subscribe for both of those, and please rate and comment on this video.